co-host. Daniel, where are you? You're sleeping.
Use Lucas today.
Lucas, you want to co-host? Lucas? Ah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so anyway, not there's any big news today or anything. I don't know. Is there anything to report? I'm not even sure. Just we got on to say hi. You know, maybe why? You think there's anything, Lucas? Is there anything? Is there anything? No. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, we're sitting here today. I could tell you some things you probably didn't hear anywhere else if you're not sitting in Israel. The bodies of three hostages were recovered today from Gaza. They were already known to be dead, believed to be dead. These three, so it wasn't. It's not like that part was news, but the fact that they were able to get them out. Now there's only 50 hostages remaining, of which they believe about 20 are alive, and but anyway, so that was in the news today. I'm going to definitely read you the names of the hostages. We'll read more about them. Just looking up one thing, though, in the meantime. So another thing that did happen today, which I think is actually very significant, just happened right now, actually. No, I want the English one. Is this the English one? Yes, that's the English one. I'm going to get there. Okay. So, hello, Bethany. Welcome. Yeah, so the other big news today. So, Daniel, you want to join? Everything that had been open yesterday was now closed again. Like, go back to work, school wasn't reopened. Let's be real. Some restaurants had started to open and whatever got closed again. Oh, but wait, that's not what you're looking for, right? Okay, I'll stop playing around. So anyway, while we slept like these innocent babes, lambs to the slaughter, having an actual full night's sleep without sirens interrupting. Then we wake up this morning. I get up and what do you call it? I look at my phone. There's like a million messages. And when there's a million messages, you're bound to miss something. So the first thing I noticed is somebody said, I'm canceling my ride today at 8:00. And I'm like, oh, why is he doing that? And anyway, slowly getting to, waking up and looking, and it's like, oh my gosh, just a couple hours ago, the U.S. decided to bomb 3 nuclear facilities in Iran while we were sleeping. No sirens, no nothing, no idea what was happening. Only when we woke up, didn't even have a chance to absorb this news, then suddenly all our phones are blowing up with alerts. There is going to be an attack on your area. Get to shelter immediately. And of course, now one bit of knowledge that the U.S. has finally attacked Iran, like we've been talking about. Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe, but you don't know what's in my mind, so I'm not going to tell you. It happened, and then suddenly there's sirens in your country. So you are now frantically, like this time we packed for the shelter. Like in a matter of 10 minutes, we had like bottles of water, food. I had coffee because I have the coffee pot ready the night before. So I just hit the on button. It had enough time to brew. Last thing we did, pour the coffee on the way out down to the shelter. But it was kind of just the same as all the other missile attacks that we've had from Iran. There were about 20 that got through into Israeli airspace in this barrage. Yes, there was severe damage. There were 3 sites where the missiles fell, and the buildings are like obliterated. However, there were no casualties. Not one person was killed. But anyway, we spent the rest of the day in this sort of surreal atmosphere of like life sounds pretty normal outside, yet the country shut down. And shall we expect some crazy retaliation? Or is the Iranian regime also obliterated? We don't know. Um, I'm going to pause to say that Ruben says hi to everybody.
Oh, Ruben.
Everybody, Ruben's on.
Hello,
Raya.
Ruben. Hi, Ruben. Hi, Ruben.
Everybody says hi.
And Daniel says
Okay, Daniel says hi too. Daniel was about to co-host with me, and then he just abandoned me, and he was like, no, no, no. But anyway, look at this. I timed it for you guys for the sunset because it's so beautiful. All right. So anyway, let's get to some details here. There's three nuclear sites uh, that they attacked, which was Natanz, Isfahan, and Fordo. Oh yeah, the big one, Fordo. And that's the one that I think Israel is now saying that they do not believe that Fordo was completely damaged. There's another thing that the Israelis are so the Israelis don't believe that it's damaged. The Israelis are also saying that I saw a number today that Israel believes they have taken out 55% of the launchers, of the Iranian launchers. All right, and I'm going to get to this in a second too. All right. So anyway, so with Fordo not being destroyed, and also another report saying that from one of the sites that they believe that they got the uranium out of there or before. So I think that leaves the door open for the sequel. You know how that goes. Like when you see a movie and they leave the door open for the sequel. So I think that's what they're doing with this kind of information. I don't know, not that any of this can be confirmed. By the way, I was just going to say yesterday, hey, Daniel, Ruben really wants to say hi.
Go say hi to Ruben.
He's like sleeping here. I can't. Yeah, everybody's a little tired. Okay. So, there was something I was going to say, and I totally distracted myself right here. Okay, let's just go back to the information. It'll come back. Okay, so Israel is saying that they've taken out 200 missile launchers, which is over half. So that's what I was just saying, the 55%. And they're also continuing targeted assassinations over there in Iran of some of the leadership. I think there were two particularly yesterday that were involved somehow with Hamas, and anyway, so they're also taken out. Okay, so as usual, this was. I mean, I don't want to say as usual, but in this case, yet again, it really came by surprise for us. But I want to show you some things that should have maybe given us a clue yesterday as to something was going to happen, because yesterday, and this was at 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. oh no, that's when Dad sent it. So I don't know when it came in. June 21st at 6:52. Okay, so it was like a Saturday evening. That the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem sent out a security alert, and they said that as a result of the current situation, U.S. government employees and their family members continue to shelter in place and near their residences. And they said the U.S. Embassy is closed for the weekend, and but they always are. So anyway, so there was that. Then just a little bit later, they also sent out. Well, this morning they sent out this emergency email saying, thank you for contacting us. Okay, this is what's going to happen. Listen to what the U.S. government was doing for its citizens. Ben Gurion Airport is not open. However, the U.S. government is arranging charter flights from Ben Gurion, and then you will need to get to a meeting point in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, and you will get transportation to the airport. By the way, I heard somebody she arranged it through an airline, not an embassy. So it was, and she got a bus from Tel Aviv to Aqaba, Jordan, and then from there to Cyprus. So like a 1 hour flight ended up being like 16 hours of travel. Okay, so anyway, we expect to have flights on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and it says to Rome or Athens. You cannot choose your destination, and it may change at the last moment. And then you make arrangements for onward travel. That's it. Like, we're just going to drop you off in another country, and then good luck. And then later on, we're going to send you a bill, and you're going to pay us. So anyway, so this very complicated procedure. So anyway, these two emails came in, and then of course, what happens today? There's World War III, and we're hovering between apocalypse and everything's normal, but the airport is closed. Of course, it's going to be closed. And I mean, after that, after, everybody's on the highest alert that there is. Like, you wake up in the morning and it says like this very severe, if I could show you the picture. Oh, come on. I thought I screenshotted it. This very serious picture of like, there are no activities today, like nothing, like everything locked down. Now I'm going to find it here. Here you go. Gatherings for your current location. So guidelines, gathering and services, activities prohibited. My God, I can't read backwards. Educational activities prohibited. This is all prohibited. Workplaces, activity is prohibited. I mean, wow, it says educational activities. That's a mistake, actually. So everything prohibited. So you wake up to that. And then, after the first round of missiles, like you tentatively go back, up to your apartment, and then you think, okay, it's gonna, this is, there's going to be more. There's going to be a lot of this. And then a couple hours later on the news, they say the airport is going to be open at 2:00 for some emergency flights, and then it's going to start operating on a limited basis. And you're like, what? So anyway, I don't know but it seems like Israel is just moving forward, like the threat is over, which is just crazy. Ruben says here there are reports that the Cypriot authorities thwarted an IRGC attempt to attack Israelis in Cyprus. Are you aware of any of these such reports? Yes, actually, and there was that, and also, that interview that I did with Marzieh Amirzadeh a couple days ago. She said that the IRGC activity overseas is maybe scarier than what's happening with Iran, because as you can see, the nation itself, and actually I heard another video where we should call it the Islamic regime. We shouldn't call it Iran. We should leave Iran for the people who will make Iran great again, but that the Islamic regime is really what it's all about. I heard two different videos, one person talking about the name itself, and then another person, this other woman who said that it's not about the country, and it's not about patriotism and national pride. It's a religious drive, and so hearing that, and then hearing like this other woman say, call it Islamic regime, don't call it Iran. I was like, oh, that's really interesting, because that better explains it. Okay, so I know what I was going to say before. I was going to say before that up until yesterday, the Islamic regime had not released any reports of like death count, death toll, or anything. And yesterday they finally did, but before the U.S. attack, and I think it was something like 460 deaths that they recorded. So they don't differentiate, like they didn't say whether these were also the assassinations. There were at least 10 or 11 nuclear scientists and several military leaders that Israel went after, but they're saying 400. And unlike Hamas, which is always accused of inflating its figures, somebody wrote that the Iranians usually downplay the numbers because they don't want to look so bad. So go figure. I'm not sure. I don't know what to tell you. Here in Israel, the death toll is still at 24. But I'm just watching right now on the news. There's well over it's well over 1,000. I think it's closer to 4,000 or 5,000 now. Israelis who can no longer live in their homes and are being relocated to hotels around the country. But I don't have to talk much about the American reporters. Most of you are sitting in the U.S. You probably have better and more updated information than I do. You're probably like inundated and saturated with what the U.S. did, how they did it, the mob bombs. What are they called? Or MOP, 30,000 pounds.
Yeah, they're
30,000 pounds.
30,000 pounds. Well, I saw somewhere mop, and then you said you geo.
GBU 57,
I mean,
30,000
crazy
pounds.
stuff. Crazy stuff.
The B2
Um,
can only carry one bomb.
At a time, each B2 could only carry one bomb. I think I've been saying B-52. Is that a band or something?
No, B-52
The B-52s
still exists. but
still
the
exists.
B2 was stealth bombers.
Oh my gosh. All right, Shirley, hello. I missed Shirley on Friday, but Dino, oh my gosh, Dino Bronya, all the way from Boston via another state right now, right? Oh my gosh, good to see you. Okay, but I want to tell you guys some news that you definitely have not heard. You haven't heard about the hostages whose bodies were recovered, because why would that be in the news, right? And I did say I want to read you their names because I think that's important. A lot of the hostage families right now are saying, obviously overseas, nobody really, that's not the big news, I understand. But here, up until Iran, up until Friday the 13th, the hostages were the news. That was the subject that drove the headlines here in Israel and drove protests and rallies and government, arguments all the time. And so anyway, I heard one of the relatives today said the best that everybody should do. Everybody should be reminding people of who they are and that they're people, and that innocent people who are sitting locked up, who knows where, in tunnels, but not in protected shelters, and are also under the same threat of these missiles as everybody else, which includes all the Gazans as well. So there are no bomb shelters there. Okay, so the hostages that were recovered today are Ofra Kedar. She was kidnapped during her morning walk at Kibbutz Be'eri, and her husband was also killed. She was killed, and her body was taken into Gaza. Then there was Yonatan Samarano, whose birthday was yesterday, and that was it was yesterday when they recovered his body. He was trying to escape the Nova Music Festival to Kibbutz Be'eri when he was murdered, and he was taken, according to this from the hostage forum. They said he was taken to Gaza by an UNRWA worker. That's the United Nations Relief and Works Agency that supports the Palestinian refugees. So, okay. And the third, Shai Levinson, and he was a soldier. He was 19 years old. He was serving in the armored brigade, and he fell in battle, and his body was kidnapped. And by the way, it says here in this bio about him that he was part of a volleyball team. Maybe you know it, MS. How do you even say that? Elabun? Elabun volleyball team, a team that serves as a model for Jewish Arab cooperation. And he chose to forego the opportunity to receive active athlete status, and instead he chose to be a combat soldier in the IDF. So anyway, so those are the three hostages who were known to be deceased, and they were, but their bodies were recovered today. So there is still war going on in Gaza, and but it's not headline news anywhere, especially not now with what's happening. Now, the other news that you definitely would not have heard about, because if you're in America, you're only hearing one thing right now. Okay. Oh, wait, this isn't it. Come on. They got off the page. Here it is. It's up here. Okay. Did I actually share the screen? Yes, I did. Okay. So Syria state media reports casualties in a suicide attack on a church in Damascus, the Mar Elias Church, in the Dwayla neighborhood of Syria's capital of Damascus. I saw reports that 25 people were killed. So it says here, and this is the New Arab, Syrian state media reported a suicide attack on a Damascus church on Sunday that caused casualties. As news agency AFP reported, first responders transporting people from the site. A suicide attacker detonates an explosive belt inside the Mar Elias church in the Dwayla area of Damascus, state TV reported. According to AFP, its correspondents at the scene saw destruction of the church with shattered wood from fittings and pews, icons on the ground, and pools of blood. Okay, so here it just says that people were killed and wounded, and children are among the casualties. But this is this is probably older, because I think the information that I'm getting now is it might be more updated, and this is horrible. So what's been going on in Turkey, or not Turkey. I just saw the word Turkey. In Syria with the new government there, how they toppled the Assad regime, and Assad was, of course, horrible and brutal, but this new Al Qaeda-ish, ISIS-ish strain that's in there now, they have no tolerance for apostates, and apostates are also other Muslims and other minority groups, including Christians. And so this is a really horrific attack, and also coming at a time when there's instability all throughout the region. So, all right, I see another report says 15 killed, 25 wounded. So you know what? Don't quote me on anything. Okay. All right. And hi to Dottie. Dottie's here.
Hi, Dottie.
Yeah, Dottie
Hi,
Bevolacqua.
Hi.
My parents are still here, stuck. Okay. Is this actually right now? Large swarm of Iranian drones was launched, and defense establishment estimates that ballistic missiles will be launched shortly before the drones arrive.
Oh, wow. Oh, so that way they'll overwhelm the.
We might have another, like blank screen for you guys while we all run down to the shelter again. Who knows? I mean, that's good, because I was actually coming to the end of this. Wait. We have updated from Picud OF. which means the home front commands. Okay, no school. We know that. That's the first thing to go always. I'm going to get on my soapbox about that in a second. Mekomot avodah, don't go to work. Is this from right now? Yes, at 8 o'clock.
How come I didn't get it?
Wait, so what are they saying again?
They're saying until tomorrow at 8 o'clock, don't go to work, don't go to school, and no gathering, no gatherings. Wow, they're already updating us. Like, what do we?
Oh, it does say, yes, it says in the next few
Getting news
minutes,
on the
alerts
fly.
are expected.
Oh, you just got that?
Yeah,
Where?
you have to go. you
I
have
got to
to
change
go-
the news channel. We don't trust
No,
these
if
guys.
you go to the Homefront app and you go to that thing,
Yeah, okay.
the second one
All
over.
right. I mean, they should have it on the news, though, right?
Wow.
No, that's AM, Dad.
Oh, that's AM. Sorry.
Yeah, in Israel, you have to go by the military time. All right, all right, all right, all right. We're all a little jumpy here, but we're not actually.
But that's AM.
Should we be? Okay,
Because
yes.
there's
So, and then
24
the home front commands remains unchanged, is what they say for tomorrow. So by the way, I'm thinking that in the coming days on this live, we're going to have a graduation ceremony for Raya, and it would be great if you could all participate because she cannot have her graduation ceremony. Because of these complications, there's no gatherings, nothing safe enough. You can't, imagine like if there's 50 kids and then, each one brings two parents and maybe or not siblings because you can't really leave them at home. You're talking like there's going to be 200 plus people and there's no way to get them all, in a location like that to a shelter. So there cannot be a graduation ceremony. But these poor kids, we were just noting yesterday, this is the class of 2025 for, graduating grammar school right now is the class that was the Corona class of 2020 in first grade. So these poor kids have had like zero education. Their first message about school was that it's not essential because during COVID, they shut down all non-essential parts of society, like a gym was not essential. Okay. All right, fine. A restaurant, not essential. I mean, I could argue with that, but okay, fine. I won't go to a restaurant. But a school was now non-essential. So what message does that send to children when they say school is not essential? It's not important enough for you to to come and then at that time the kids were slightly more compliant than they are now. So you could kind of make them go on Zoom and you could make them learn, but learn, I mean, not learn, I mean, listen, I mean, stare at a screen. They didn't learn, that's for sure. So you could have done that back then. But now these kids are staying up till midnight. They're getting sirens at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., or 7 a.m., or whatever. They're not waking up for a 10 o'clock Zoom. And anyway, they're not interested at this point because they have learned a very important lesson from first grade that school is not essential. Now, I'm not against safety guidelines because obviously this is, I would think, slightly more threatening than COVID. These missiles are like obliterating entire buildings, and only if you are in your shelter do you survive. And I think even some shelters have taken direct hits and people have been hurt. So all right, so that's really important. I do understand that, but it's very sad that the kids are graduating, and the kids that started in lockdown are ending in lockdown. And so it's really sad. I really feel bad for them. I don't know, this age group, we're going to have to check with a psychologist in a couple years and do a little study on the aftermath of all of this. But anyway, Ruben, thank you very much. You get the first ticket. You get the first free ticket I'm giving away to the Raya graduation ceremony. He's cheering, Raya, 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 yippee. But Raya's over there like on a phone watching copious amounts of videos, none of which are mine. Thank you very much. I have a favor on that regard. I'm trying to I have to get my YouTube channel up in terms of watch hours in order for me to do something with it, to be able to run promotions and stuff like that. And I just looked at, I was eligible a couple months ago. They must have changed the rules or something, but I just checked it out today, and I need I'm only at half the number of watch hours I need. I'm sorry, I don't remember the number, if it's 1,000, but that's a lot of hours. I mean, that's a lot of long distance flights or something. So I don't know if you can spread the word. If you would help me spread the word to get my watch hours up, I'd really appreciate that. And also, if you could tell your friends, if you find this useful information, and could tell people, friends, that they could subscribe and get some, some news coming from Israel, that from Jerusalem, and there's going to be more, because yesterday, hope kind of lost its relevance overnight, but it'll come back. I did some videos in the old city that I still have to edit together, but for instance, the old city is completely shut down. I went around, I went to some of the shops, restaurants, everything is really, really locked, sealed, shuttered. And yet here on this side of Jerusalem, things are open. We ordered our food tonight, and when we drove by yesterday, I saw the pizza place open. I saw people eating at the pizza place. And my friend whose birthday it is today, I didn't even try to make plans for her because everything's closed. And I just read you the restrictions. And yet she tells me that her friend has booked a restaurant at a hotel, and they're going to a restaurant tonight for dinner. And I'm like, well, I'm happy for you. I mean, that's great. But why is the old city closed down? Where's the discrimination? I don't get it. Why the old city discrimination? What we need to do is go during the week to the other quarter and see if they're open. I'm going to go tomorrow and do that. Oh my God, check back, because I am going to do some investigative journalism tomorrow. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Anyway. All right. So the U.S. bombed 3 nuclear plants in Iran. They kind of put the cherry on the cake to Israel's military endeavors here. And then Israel continued icing the cake all day today. And continued striking launch sites, missile sites, other things, and now we don't know what will be. 2 days ago, they said this is going to be a prolonged war. Now they're saying we expect it to be over in 2 days. I don't believe anything I hear anymore, so I have no idea what's going to happen. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what to add, because I feel like it could all be turned around tomorrow. All right. Well, say hi to the studio audience. Daniel's sleeping.
Hi. Good night.
Dottie's still there.
Dottie.
Dottie, look, you can see them.
A blast from the past.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope, anyway, I hope this was helpful, and check back on Syria too, because that's a developing story and is really, really horrible. So anyway, that's it for now. All right. Have a good day. Good night, wherever you are. Ciao.